Hey, everybody, welcome back. And we have us another beautiful show today. In fact, we're going to have, well, we always have a little bit of fun, at least I do. And the title today is Interest Rates Have Been Coming Down. However, buyers are still pushing back on basically pricing because home prices are on their way up. Sellers, well, they're kind of struggling a little bit because they want to sell, they want to make a move, but they also don't want to give up those golden handcuffs and said, hey, I've got these really low rates like in the 3s and low 4s, and I don't want to trade up to a 6.5% rate. I totally get that. So let's talk about that, and let's get the show on the road here. Okay, so first, let's talk a little bit about what the Northwest MLS came up with a report, their monthly report, which is always a little bit late compared to ours, but it's always good to get their feedback. And basically says here that active listings are up 37.7%. Well, that's not new for you guys. We've seen that quite a bit. We've been seeing, basically that inventory start to increase basically since about May, and that is seasonally normal. We're still about 49% of where we should be, but nonetheless, there we go. So let's pull that back up again. They said closed sales are 5.9% increase in closed sales year over year. Median price is up 5.7% at 650,000 smackers. Now, none of that is new to you guys. Every single week, you guys are hearing us go through the metrics. We go basically step by step, residential only for the global, the Northwest MLS, and the Northwest Multiple Listing Service. There we go. And then, of course, we'll go through new construction, how that's, basically balancing out against existing resale, homes coming on market. And then we talk about REOs, which pretty much are non-existent, but still it's a topic because it does ebb and flow. All right. So when we take a look at kind of the news of what's going on, look, rates ended just a tad higher than what they did last week. Absolutely still moving right along. We're still seeing quite a bit of volatility in that arena, again, because of some of the reporting that's coming out. With us getting back into the 6.5% mortgage rate level. And that's super interesting because for us to be back in the 6.5s, that's situation normal between 6.5, really 6 3/4, 7 1/8. That's situation normal. That is a normal historic, hey, here's where rates should be. And so people are acclimating to it. Yes, I get it. People are super sad. We're not going to see 3%, 4% mortgages. The Fed's brought that down. It's the only reason that it's there. So it's kind of like it was a gift that we will pay for and our kids will pay for the rest of their lives and then some as they pay off debt and everything else. So as the elections are coming up, be mindful how much debt you feel that the U.S. should carry. That should be the administration that you're trying to put into place to mitigate that, or unless you enjoy debt. Anyway, moving on. I'll get my political couch there. All right. So mortgage rates, we are looking at about 6.54% as of Friday. That is still excellent. Make sure that you check out the bottom right. There's a link down below that allows you to go in and check out multiple mortgage options. No, I am not a mortgage broker. It is a free tool for you guys to use. It's super awesome. You can put it all in and it sends it across who's really giving you the best options. Watch the video, 5 questions to ask when getting quoted mortgage rates. When you fill that out, you're going to see how big of a difference that is. All right, so moving on. If we go and talk a little bit more about mortgage rates, let's talk a little bit about Freddie. So Freddie Mac, their running 7-day average is just a tad bit lower, which is not unexpected because our par pricing during the week was about 6.47. And that actually, again, it's where we should be. It's really good. It's not the spikes that we saw this time last year. But I want you to notice also on that chart, on the left-hand side, you can see how things are kind of rolling out. We had our peaks and then we came down again. And the reason this is important is as we get to our seasonal, we're going a little bit slower for October-ish and moving on. Our market last year, because rates came down, as you saw, let's blow this back up again. You can see where rates peaked and then came back down. And then we started to see what we're seeing today. And so that means that some of our numbers actually are going to change a little bit, meaning that last year we actually started to see a lot of forward momentum from October, November, December. We saw some really good activity. We were drawing down inventory, sales were up, prices were going up. And this year we're going to be on par with that. So we're not going to be looking great like we did last year. So the year over year numbers, you might say, oh, we're not doing as good this year as we did last year. No, that's not the case. We're holding that course. And I do expect that our market will stay relatively flat through the rest of the year, pending us getting below, 6.25, which I don't think that'll happen. 2025, that will probably happen, but probably not this year. Anyway, moving on. All right. So when we pop this up and we take a look at Freddie, that absolutely, without a doubt, shows us that over the last 10 months, we've been relatively flat. And that's a really good bit of information to know, because then as we translate, and you can see on the left-hand chart there, when we talk about average sales price, July, we were kind of modest and we dipped down and then boom, we took off, right? And including on, even the Northwest MLS numbers here, we had 1,439 homes come on market. But guess what? Absolutely, one for one. 1,474 homes went off market, went pended in the same time frame. Of course, 1,017 closed, and we have 971 sellers that missed the market. And that's whatever. It's a normal thing. We will always have folks that are overpriced or want to try and push market price, or they have an agent that comes in and basically buys a listing, over promises to capture your business, and then they just go ahead and blame market conditions and buyers and then start beating you down on price. Sad, sorry, that's what they do. That's their skill set. Anyway, now I'm not going to get into that. That's a different video altogether. Anyway, all right. So as we take a look and we consider everything that's going in the market, listen, hey, if you're looking for super accurate information, this is the place to get it. There's no cost. There's no marketing. So keep that in mind as we're kind of rolling along. And speaking of rolling along, let's take a look at the Northwest MLS, the blue line being new on market. As you can see, for July, we came down. Pended, which is red, that went up. And then, of course, our sales and active are absolutely doing really well. Now, let's talk a little bit about the average for sale price and the average sold price. So our top line, as you can see, is a downward trend. We're seeing that pricing for active listings has been trending downward, but yet the pended price is heading upward. Here's what's super interesting. Now, get a load of this. So year over year, we're up 9.5%, almost 10%. With the average sold price at $849,000, the average list price at $1,015,000. Pretty much that's been staying about the same. But look at this. So for the month of August, now granted today's the 10th, so it's only the first 9 days, our average sales price is down $62,000. That was a little bit of a surprise for me. I actually had to double check that. I thought, what? And lo and behold, that is the case. And so that's our average sales price. That doesn't mean our market's going down or anything else. It's just the average of what sold up for the first 9 days. Now, typically, we start to see a little bit more momentum, and we are definitely seeing that momentum with rates that came down. However, we're not going to see some of the basically pricing until we hit the more closed, which is going to be in more in August or September, because it takes 30 days on average to close. So super interesting enough, when we blow this back up again, and then we head over to the actual, hey, what's our volume? What's the velocity? Super, super interesting here. Again, Year over year, our pended are up 1% and solds are up 1% as far as volume. And then as far as month to date, year over year, we're 31 homes off of where we were as far as number of homes that went pended. Sold. And so with that, you need to take a look at that and say, hey, is this seasonally normal? We're seeing a little bit difference. Our inventory's up. It's not enough of a marker for really us to make any kind of determination. 31 homes across 3/4 of Washington state, that's pretty small. All things considered, our year-to-date numbers, year-over-year, year-to-date numbers are actually still doing quite well. And I have a sneaking hunch that August is going to finish on top based on some of the new pricing, some of the homes that are coming out on market. And we've seen, like I say, a number of price reductions. So we're going to see some of those go to a pending status, and we're going to start to see that change happen. All right. So as we pop back here, we take a look at new construction. Super, super interesting. So remember, month end is going to be super important for builders because they need to close out projects. And here we go. We can see their incentives down to first year rate, 4.75. We have 4.875. We have our spring sale event, which technically ends tomorrow. And the super, super interesting thing about this is that new construction has a new marketing challenge. The new marketing challenge for new construction is the fact that we have more inventory that has come on market. And when I say more inventory, I'm talking about resale. So the builders are not getting the builders aren't getting the 10% premium like they were getting before, because we have a lot more inventory, better price that they are now competing directly against. So builders have slowed down their production a little bit to offset that. Naturally, they don't want to flood the market, and they need to maintain plat control. And that's an absolute given. So when we blow it up and we take a look at the numbers, year over year, you can see that the actual price point has come down just a tad bit. And including when we take a look at the month of August, again, we're down on numbers. So last week, we were at 852,000, or actually it was $48,000 less than that. I think it was 804, I think is what it was. And now we're at 852. Price-wise, it went up. Numbers, I should say, are still down. And in fact, they've kind of hit an all-time lower, 7%. We've been bobbling around really more in the kind of the 3 to 4%, as far as volume of sales that are off. Again, that immediately started happening as we saw our increase in active inventory as far as resales. Now, yes, we went from 9,000 to 12,000 homes. We're still only 48% of where we were pre-pandemic, meaning 2019 and earlier. We still only have about half that inventory, but we're still a very balanced inventory. And with new construction, I'm saying, we are seeing a very balanced new construction. So if you're thinking, oh my gosh, builders are going down, we're going to take them down. That's not the case at all. We're very balanced. And I think that is a good thing, all things considered. Naturally, builders want to be moving more. However, rate will have a big impact on that. All right. Now, let's take a look at some of our other numbers here. So when we talk about a slowing trend, that is exactly what we were just describing. When we see sales start to slow, we take a look at the whys, and it's not anything other than new inventory coming on market. And that's okay. There's only so many buyers out there, and there's a certain inventory and certain price points. Yes, builders are offering different incentives, but there's also benefits to buying existing homes. And that's just a business decision a lot of guys make, right? Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about bank-owned. Yes. We have our wall of shame. Unfortunately, but it always is what it is. So let's blow this up. So they're of the 83, because when you take a look at their numbers, it says, oh my gosh, George, we have almost a 77% increase in gosh darn inventory. And I'm like, no, you don't. You have a 27% increase because 19 of those listings are actually part of the wall of shame. And it's actually only 64 homes. And when you take a look at our numbers year over year, year to date, same month, our numbers are down and continue to head down because we do not have an issue with REOs. It is definitely the absolutely polar opposite of 2008 through 2011, 2010, because where we had thousands of listings before, here we only have a handful. There are more cities than we have foreclosures. Just saying. Anyway, all right. Everybody, it's a beautiful day out there. If you have questions, post them down below. Leave us a comment. Make sure that you like, share this video with 2 people that you like, 1 person you don't like. And again, we do answer your questions within about 30 minutes. And in the meantime, have an absolutely beautiful day. I will talk to you on the next video. Take care.